you ready?
John, what do you think of your performance?
It was hard to know. I felt like I was in front majority of the fight, but obviously I have to watch it back. I'm always hypercritical myself, so I'll watch it back tomorrow and see where I went wrong and what I did good.
John, was there a reason why the first 4 or 5 rounds you seemed to take it a lot easier than you did in the last half of the fight?
I think you got to respect Danny Jacobs, what he's done in the sport, and listen, he's had a long time out the ring, so he wasn't sure how he was going to come out. And you see what he done to Peter Quillen in the first round of their fight, so he always got to throw caution to the wind by like, tie him up, make the moves early doors and see what he's got. But I think early doors we see that his power wasn't what it probably once was, and that we could mix out him a bit and just be sensible.
There was a time in the 7th round when you sort of saw an opportunity. Was there something in the head where you thought you could actually knock it down, maybe finish him?
Like I say, I was always going to throw caution to the wind with him. He's fight like Dan Jacobs. When he's hurt, that's when he's at his most dangerous, and that's when he's throwing the wild shot. So you've got to be on the guard and prepared for what's coming back.
John, you've had close fights before. What was that feeling like at the end, where you sort of got that? I sort of called rubber the green because you earned your victory, but you know what I mean? Because you've been on the end of close fights before. That's not really. How was that feeling like for you?
It was a strange one tonight. I mean, being the hometown fighter, but on the away side of the card, which was strange. But yeah, I mean, it was great. I mean, I've not really won too many 12-round decisions, which is strange. But it was great to go in there with a great fighter like Danny Jacobs and come away victorious.
John, what's next for you? Who do you want to fight next?
Whoever, Tony, Charlie, Eddie tell me to. Listen, we all want Canelo, but Canelo does what Canelo wants to do, and who knows who he's fighting next, whether it will be cruiserweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. So I'm not going to run around with it for him too much. Just going to see what options come up and see what works best for us.
Tony, was that the sort of game plan going into the fight where you, like I said, extreme caution to the wind initially, first few rounds, and then sort of figured out what Danny Jacobs was about, and then became a bit more aggressive and fighting some?
It's like John was saying, you know, we know Danny Jacobs is a big puncher. Not just a big puncher, but he's a world-class fighter. You know, when you look at his resume, you know, his losses are like to Canelo and Golovkin, and a lot of people thought he beat Golovkin, you know, so, you know, you got to be smart in there. I thought John worked him up really well up close inside when Jacobs was trying to hold him. I thought he worked well with his short uppercuts inside and started opening him up. And then, you know, in them middle rounds, 8th and 9th round, I thought he really got hold of Jacobs and really hurt him. And tactically as well, because you've got to realise how smart Jacobs is once he's in there. And I thought John's skill just matched Jacobs all the way through the fight. You know, and you don't normally see that in a Jacobs fight. You know, you normally outskills you, and that just shows you what a good fighter John is.
You talked in the lead up to this fight about if you lost it might be the end. Now that you've won, do you have any kind of idea of how many more fights you might have left in your career?
Yeah, I'm going to keep going till the wheels fall off now. As long as I'm winning and doing well, not getting hurt. Listen, I put a lot of pressure on myself for that fight tonight, and maybe it wasn't justified, but I felt like I needed a big performance, and I needed to really get the bit between my teeth and put out a performance, and there was no leaving it, not leaving it all in the ring tonight. And listen, it was a close fight. I don't know if it was that close. I'll have to watch it back, but I think I did what I set out to do. I didn't think I'd get Danny Jacobs out there at any point, and I was always satisfied with a 12-round victory. Listen, if a knockout come, it would have been lovely, but Danny's a great fighter, and it's easy to go in there and say you've got to not respect him, but what he's achieved in the ring and more so out of the ring, he's a hell of a fighter and a great champion.
John, how do you compare him to the other guys you've been in with, Billy Joe Saunders, Callum Smith, etc.?
Oddly, I feel like that fight was a lot closer than the Callum Smith fight. I felt like I ran away with the Smith fight at times, and I didn't think it was even that close. But I mean, Danny Jacobs is a world-level fighter. He's got a bit of everything. His speed's probably not what it once was, but he's still got a fair amount of power. His shot selection, more so his knowledge of the ring. He knows where he is at the ring all the times. He come forward a bit more than I thought he would tonight. As of late, he's been a bit more on the ropes, more back foot. But he engaged a bit more, and I don't know whether that's because I was forcing the pace and making him throw when he didn't want to, but I was just pleased with it.
John, it looked like you hurt Daniel earlier on in the fight. Was there any point in that fight where he hurt you and you were questioning you, like, you know, is this how your performance was?
Listen, I think in one of the rounds, all them punches with them little gloves, you feel them, but he hit me around the back of the ear at one point, and I thought to myself that I can't be taking too many of them, so just grip down, keep that hand that bit higher, and don't take any more.
And what have you learnt from the fight?
Just that activity is key in this sport, and I mean, listen, COVID's been no good for anyone, but to be the best you can be in this sport, you've got to be active and you've got to be on it at all times.
What conversation did you have with Daniel after the fight?
Listen, it's just more fanboy. I'm just telling him that I respect him as a fighter. He's had a great career, and I appreciate him coming over to these shores and fighting me in my backyard.
Eddie said that if Daniel lost his fight, that he'd recommend he retire. Was there any conversation with that yourself? Did he mention that to you?
No, I mean, listen, I think Danny Jacobs has got a big enough name that he could go and fight Jake Paul next and earn $5 million and hopefully do a job on him. But listen, for myself, I've not got Danny Jacobs' resume, and I felt like the pressure was on me tonight to win and put on a performance. So that's why I mounted the pressure on myself. But listen, I'm sure there's other options for Danny Jacobs. He can look at and rematch with someone like Rosado or whoever. He's a big enough name, and he can knock other big names out.
I know how great you were after that Callum Smith loss. Obviously, you said then you thought you won it. How do you feel now? Now, a couple of years later, you won a massive fight against a big name, huge name. How do you feel right now?
Listen, I feel on cloud nine. I mean, it's been a slow 2 years. I don't think I've had much time out of the gym in 2 years, have I? No. So it's been slow. It's been frustrating because 2020 was a very slow year. We was working towards dates and they kept getting moved, and I think I was meant to fight in September originally, and then ended up fighting in December, and a real lacklustre performance in Miami, and then you're desperate to get off to a good start in the start of the year, and then it wasn't until September I boxed again. So I'm blessed this year that I got out so early in the year, February. Hopefully we can get out again in the summer and maybe even get 3 fights in this year. It'd be lovely.
John, given the run of hard fights you had in the lead up to the Callum Smith fight, do you think it'd be a bit unfair if you're made to have yet another difficult fight to get another world title crack, in particular if it's someone like a Lerone Richards, who's stylistically a nightmare for anyone?
Listen, that was an eliminator tonight. I'm sure there might be a final eliminator. Listen, my focus is on the WBA title. I'm not interested in fighting IBO titles. I want to fight for a proper world title against a proper champion.
Any more, guys? No, all good?
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Well done, bud.
Gents, you just make your way down.
Yeah.
I'll come across.